Hey guys, what's up? It's Jillian and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going over 10 fat loss mistakes that beginners typically make when they're starting their fitness journey and when they are trying to cut down on weight. So I definitely fell victim to a lot of these mistakes as well. It's important to remember that we're all human. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. There's always gonna be that little room for error. I still make mistakes. I'm still learning in fitness. You're never done growing in fitness, which is why I think it is such an awesome field to be a part of and to start. And I know that as a beginner it can be super overwhelming. You're just throwing a lot of information, a lot of maybe scientific terms or a lot of fitness lifting terms that you aren't familiar with. So I'm gonna try and break it down as good as I can and to make it as simple as possible but still effective and get the point across. So without further ado, I don't want to ramble too much and I just kind of want to get into the video. So stay tuned and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so mistake number one that I see is the excess amount of eating healthy snacks. Just because something's healthy doesn't mean you can eat as much of it as you want. So that's a really important thing that a lot of people don't realize. In order to lose weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit, which means you need to be burning more calories than you are consuming. So the best way to do this is to track your macros. Tracking macros is a completely different video that I would need to spend a whole lot of time on to explain even further. But if you are in a caloric surplus, which means that you are consuming more calories than you are burning, then you are not going to lose the weight. It doesn't matter what kinds of foods you're eating. If you're just swapping out foods to be healthier, to make changes, maybe for dietary purposes, then by all means, eat what you want, do what you want. But if you're looking to lose fat, you need to still be making sure that you're consuming less calories than you're burning. Mistake number two that I see is an excess of cardio. When people think weight loss, a lot of times beginners are like, great, I'm gonna run every day, I'm gonna run, and I'm not gonna lift weights. I'm not gonna touch weights because if I touch the weights, I am going to get bulky. That is not the case, guys. And especially females who are afraid to lift weights, you're not going to get bulky. It's not gonna happen, okay? Trust me, it takes a really, really long time to build substantial muscle. So don't be afraid of the weights, guys. And the more muscle that you have, the higher your metabolic rate is, aka the more calories that your body is going to burn naturally. Too much cardio will actually stall your progress, it'll inhibit muscle growth, and you're not going to be happy with the results that you see. Sure, you might see a bit of weight loss, but what's going to happen is that weight loss is definitely going to plateau and your body's going to be like, oh, you're dieting, you're not eating a lot, you're not giving me a lot of nutrients, and you're also depleting me a lot. So you're gonna run yourself dry. You're not gonna see fat loss. The best way to go about this is to have a combination of both cardio and weightlifting. If you're not big on cardio, you can try to make a step goal, get like 10,000 steps. If you're just getting 10,000 steps, that's burning an extra maybe 300 to 500 calories a day. It's easy to recover from. You're not gonna stall your progress. And if you love cardio, you could try full body lifting days, try to find your niche and what works best for you. Maybe have like 2 separate cardio days and like 3 muscle group days, something like that. That way you're still getting your sweat on. Mistake number 3 that I see is not resting. Rest is super important, guys. Your rest is going to be just as important as your lifts are. So when you lift, you're actually breaking down your muscles. And when you rest, that is the time needed for your muscles to regenerate and to grow. So if you are just lifting, and breaking down the muscle, you're not giving it the adequate time that it needs to recover and to grow, and you can actually stall your progress this way. You're putting in more work and seeing less results. So give yourself the time to rest, recoup. You will feel better, you will look better, and your body will thank you. Mistake number 4 that I would see is putting too much pressure on the number on the scale. Muscle weighs more than fat, so when you're going through your fitness journey, you're putting on muscle and you're actually losing fat, you may step on the scale and appear heavier than you weighed at whatever weight, but actually look better, feel better. Focus more on how you feel, how you look, you know, how certain clothes fit compared to how they used to fit. I love progress pictures. Those are the best way to determine how much you've really changed. I know you might not want to take a lot of pictures when you don't feel as confident in yourself, but if you take those pictures and then you compare them to like 6 months ahead of time or a year in advance, and you look back on those pictures and you're like, I can't believe how much I've accomplished, how much I've changed. It's crazy. So don't look at the scale and just put so much pressure on seeing it go down. You know, that's a really unhealthy mindset, and I've dealt with that. I had gone through periods of my life where all I cared about was seeing the scale drop, and it was super unhealthy. It was super obsessive, and I was still unhappy with myself at the end of the day. What helped me was lifting, seeing myself change, looking back at progress pictures, and seeing how far I've really come, okay? So don't undermine the work that you're putting in, guys. It's not all about a number. Mistake number 5 is thinking that you can spot reduce fat. This one is one of the hardest pills for a lot of people to swallow, I feel like. You see these exercises everywhere, whether it's on Pinterest, Instagram, like target stubborn arm fat, target stubborn thigh fat. You can't target fat, guys. I'm sorry, I hate to break the news to you, but you just can't. The only thing that you can do is lower your body fat percentage as a whole. Where you store fat, that is all based on genetics, so more of your stubborn fat is going to be where your body tends to hold fat. So for me, I tend to store a lot of my fat in my thighs, so I have to be at a super low body fat percentage as a whole before I would start to see any quad definition or stuff like that. Mistake number 6 that I see is the binge mentality. This was me for a while. Thinking, okay, so I'm gonna diet, I'm gonna super restrict all week. I ate good all week, so I'm gonna binge out on the weekend. I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna eat that. Not tracking your calories, not being mindful of what you're consuming. And unfortunately, this is only going to hinder your results. Fat loss is more about the calories that you burn per week, less so about per day. If you're eating really clean throughout the week and then you're binging on the weekends, you still might be overeating. It's super important to be consistent and stay on top of your goals. So maybe don't be extremely restrictive during the week. You know, if you have a craving, have a cookie, have a cupcake, have a slice of cake, but don't go overboard. You know, don't be too extreme on either end of the spectrum, because once you start binging, it's just a very hard cycle to end and to get out of, and it's something that I've struggled with for like well into my fitness journey. Okay, there's like a lot of trucks right now. So I'm just gonna give it a minute. Okay. So bouncing off of that binge mentality brings me into mistake number 7 that I see people make, and that is giving food too much power. So you need to think of food as your fuel, as what you need to help your muscles grow, to fuel you, to walk, to run, to lift. Don't think of having such an intense relationship with food. Don't even think about having a relationship with food. Food is a priority. It is something that you need, okay? You know, tracking macros can really help you fit foods into your diet that you might have thought you couldn't eat. You could still eat bad foods and reach your fat loss goals, but like I said, macros should be a completely other video because it's a lot to go into right now. Mistake number 8 that I see is expecting someone to do the work for you. So listen, guys, I hate to break it to you, but your fat loss journey is your fat loss journey. Your fitness journey, it's yours, and it's up to you to put in the work and to make sure that it happens. You can have the best guides, you can have the best trainers, the best coaches, the best meal plans, but if you're not sticking to your diet, you're not sticking to your fitness plan, you're not sticking to your workouts, that's not okay. Like, you're just not gonna reach your goals. You need to be able to show up and put in the work. All it comes down to is that you just need to be eating in a deficit. You need to prioritize your lifts and your meals. And that's it, and it's such a simple formula, but it is very hard to execute, and not a lot of people are willing to stick to it and push through it and go in with their goals and come out achieving them. And mistake number 9 that I see, which is not having enough patience. You want a quick fix. How can I lose weight in 10 days? You can't, okay? You're not gonna lose 20 pounds in 10 days and sustain it. So all these videos that you see of losing weight in 10 days, how I lost 20 pounds in a week, how I lost X amount of weight in this very short span of time, is unsustainable. It's unrealistic. Sure, you might drop the weight. You're gonna gain the weight right back once you start eating normally and start doing what you usually do. It's not realistic. Like I said, it's a formula, but you have to implement it, and you have to want it, and you have to put the work in to get it. Think about how long it took you to be where you are now. Following a fat loss plan for a week, following a fat loss plan for 2 weeks, a month, you are not going to see automatic results, okay? It also depends on genetics, how much fat that you have on your body right now. It just depends on so many personal factors that you just can't expect a quick fix, okay? You need to be patient, but I promise you, if you keep showing up and putting in the work, results will come. So don't give up on yourself, okay? That brings me into mistake number 10, which is just giving up completely and falling into a vicious cycle of never reaching your goals. Every New Year's, you're like, oh, I'm going to lose weight this year, I'm going to lose weight, and then it's a month in, and you didn't take any of the steps that you needed to actually lose the weight, so you're like, oh, I'll get it next year, or we're constantly dieting, constantly doing fad diets, doing things that are unsustainable. Guys, it's not going to work. Stop falling into a vicious cycle of wanting something and not working for it. I think that's the biggest thing. If you guys could take anything away from the video, is that you need to work for it. You need to push past your failures. You need to keep striving. You need to have the dedication and determination, because no one is going to work for your goals more than you are. Nobody wants you to win more than you want to win for yourself. That is it. Those are my 10 mistakes that I see beginners make oftentimes. It's very, very hard to hold yourself accountable, and it's easy to blame someone else. It's easy to want a quick fix, but that's not sustainable. That's not going to work. It's not going to get you the results that you need. So, yeah. So I hope you guys like this video. I know it might have been a little bit rambly. I'm really sorry. It's so hard to get your point across. I'm a person that if you talk to me in real life, I kind of scramble for my thoughts a lot. So it is very hard for me to sit here and try and throw info at you and make it sound natural, not super scripted or anything like that. So I hope you stuck with me till the end. If you guys like this video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and you can hit the little bell notification for my posts. And yeah, so that's it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks.